You're tuned in to the world of Tom, where you catch all the facts and stay connected with Tom Lane.
Program.
I know a lot of times.
Me, look at you. You look all cute. Okay. Welcome to In the World of Tom. I'm Tom Lane, and today we are sitting here with Mayor Ella Jones of Ferguson, Missouri. Ms. Jones is now the first Black woman mayor in the area, and I have a few questions for her. Hi, Ms. Jones. How you doing?
I am doing great, and thank you for having me today.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself to get started?
Well, what I would like to share about myself is I'm a mom, I'm a widow. I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Migrated up here to St. Louis. My husband and I, we moved to Ferguson about 40 years ago. We wanted my daughter to walk to school and get the experience of social skills walking to school. So we chose Ferguson because of the school district at the time, the Ferguson Florissant School District. So we moved up here. My husband retired from Boeing. He passed about 6 years ago. He was a journeyman electrician. And right now, I just share a little bit more about myself. I graduated from the University of Missouri, St. Louis with a degree in chemistry.
Okay.
I pastored 22 years with the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I am an entrepreneur, own my own business with Mary Kay Cosmetics. No, I didn't win a pink Cadillac, but I won 7 other cars.
Yeah.
I won 7 other cars. 3 diamond bumblebees for recruiting, a ring for my retail sales of over $36,000 in the course of a year. My unit produced over $250,000. But when the Mike Brown fatal shooting happened, I looked at my business and I called my senior and told her, I said, I think I need to put all my time invested in my community. So I resigned my position with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I've been working in my community ever since.
So with working in your community and being in Ferguson, what exactly got you interested in being the mayor of Ferguson?
Well, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put my heart and soul in it. And when people ask me to run for council person, I say, okay, I'll run, but I'm going to be mayor too. Everybody laughed at me. They said, you're not even on the council yet, and you're talking about being mayor. I said, well, I don't mind going on the council, but I'm going to learn everything I can, and I'm going to work until I get to the point of mayor. And here I am today.
Yes, ma'am.
Believe in me, so I'm excited about that.
Well, then how does it feel? How does it feel just knowing that not only are you the first Black, but you're a woman and you're mayor? What does it feel like?
Well, I have not fully, it has not really sank in yet. I've been dealing with a whole lot of family obligations. And because my sister passed away the day after the election, so I've been going back and forth to New Orleans, help my nieces. But I think it's coming to reality because I was on the flight a couple of weeks ago, and this man looked at me. He said, "I think I know you." I said, "No, you don't." And so he was at the ticket counter. Yesterday when I got to fly back, he said, you see, I didn't know you. I know you. You the one that was running for mayor. I said, yeah, I won the election. And he just went around telling everybody, oh, the mayor of Ferguson is at the airport. I'm like, shh. I wasn't looking this good. I had tap on my head. I said, don't tell anyone. I don't want nobody to be being real. So it's a joy, but with it comes great responsibility. And to whom much is given, much is required. And I have young girls, they look up to me. A lot of women, they're looking forward to me to make some changes, be inclusive. So it's a great responsibility, and I'm up for the task.
Well, speaking of changes, what are your plans now that you're in office?
Well, my plans right now, my goal is to be inclusive. We have too many people who don't know what's going on. And it becomes very important for them to know what's going on. So my
Yes, ma'am.
first 90 days to 100, I'm going to have a town hall meeting so everyone will know the state of Ferguson. In addition to that, I am going to hold office hours so people can come in and meet with me and talk with me about things they have on their mind. I found out that when you talk to people, listen to people, give them an opportunity, then they will work with you. But if you're never listening to them and you talk down to them or talk at them, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
I agree. So when that comes to talking at them or talking down to them, and you also spoke of Mike Brown and Ferguson, would you say that there's a gap between the community and the police department? And if so, what are your plans to better that communication?
Well, we working on the gap. The police department is doing a better job of interacting with the residents, but we can always do better. And my goal is to have an opportunity to speak with the police chief because our previous police chief, Chief Moss, he and I sat down and we went around my ward knocking on doors, introducing the chief to the people. And people were excited that the chief of police would knock on their door just to say hello. So that's something I would like to see Jason do. Let people know who he is and what he stands for and how he can be a part of the community and the people would embrace him. So if you stand away from people and you never interact with them, they're not going to support you as much as you want them to. But you got to get in and talk with them. And one thing about Chief Moss, anywhere somebody was barbecuing, they will call him and he would go get him a plate. So he really worked with the people.
Yeah.
And so that's what I hope to see Jason do, get out in the community more. Yes, he played basketball with the young men and he talks to them, but let's start walking the neighborhoods. Let some of these seniors know who you are.
Exactly. That's awesome. I just had an interview with Sykeston DPS, their chief, Jim McMillan, and he said the same thing, that they're going to bring a new initiative to Sykeston after, the whole George Floyd situation and then their own town discrepancies, that they're going to try to bridge that gap between the community by doing that, just walking through the community, introducing new officers, introducing themselves, showing their face a lot more. So I think that's a great idea. I really do. My next question is, are you working with any other city officials to try to come up with a plan, to try to coincide you all's plan together to bring, the city of St. Louis together as one?
Well, I'm in communication. I talk with Kim Gardner sometime and the other St. Louis official, Mayor Lila Cruz, and we see each other on occasions when we doing food giveaway and we may talk. But my number one goal is to bring together the City Council of Ferguson. And what we've been doing, I've been talking to some of the council members. I have not gotten around to everyone. So if anyone is going to watch this, I'm getting to you. I'm getting around to you. Been talking to them, trying to find out their ideas, how we can merge all these ideas, come up with a work session where we can be on one accord and work this out. Because the only way we're going to move this city forward is that we must work together. And I started the conversation with some of them, and probably next week I will be finished talking to all the council members so we could come up with a time to do this work session. And so we could be on one accord. That's the only way we're going to get it done.
Yes, ma'am. And I totally agree with that. Earlier, you mentioned the reason why you moved to Ferguson and the school district with your daughter. Do you have any new plans for the school district? I used to work at Ferguson Middle. So I love Ferguson Florissant School District. I was only a secretary there for the Boys and Girls Club at the time, but I do love the atmosphere. Yeah. I had just moved here from from Cape Girardeau. And all the rumors and all of, are you need to be safe? Are you sure you want to be out there? And I get out there and it's no different than any other school that I've taught at or, I've worked for. So do you have any plans for Ferguson Florissant School District?
Well, the Ferguson Florissant School District, just about everyone on the school board I've interacted with, I know them. And we have not had an opportunity to sit down because I'm just getting in this position. But on Saturday, just before I left town, Dr. Davis called me. He is the superintendent of the school district, and they had a peaceful march on Saturday for Black Lives Matter, and they asked me to march with them, but I was unable to march with them. But I have a good relationship with the Ferguson Florissant School District, with the Riverview Garden School District, and the Hazelwood School District, because as a council person, my ward touched each one of those school districts. So I made it my business to make certain that I interact with the superintendent and the various principals of the school. So everyone know me. They know I'm willing to work with them. So we're just going to hit the ground running with the school districts.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. My last question is, are there any businesses or economic changes that you are trying to increase in the area or bring to the area?
Well, right now, as you know, we had the protests here about a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of the businesses, the windows have been damaged. So we had a lot of partners that reached out to the business owners, helping them to get reestablished, because most of them was going to open after the pandemic anyway. But when the protests happened, it set them back because a lot of their windows were broken. I don't agree with protesters destroying other people's property. If you want to protest, I'm all for it, but don't destroy other people's property. So there are partners that are working with the business to get back on their feet. And right now, we have a nursing home getting ready to open. I've been working with that owner and his wife. So looking forward to helping them get established in Ferguson, in my ward. And I have a couple of other developers that have gotten in contact with me, and looking forward to sitting down, talking with them to look at the land that Ferguson has and what can be done with it.
Before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to say to not just your city of Ferguson, but the city of St. Louis, young women everywhere who are looking at you and saying, we can definitely do this too?
Well, I just want to encourage all young women period. When you see a need, you go in there, you work and develop and do something to fill that need. That's the only way we're going to make our community better, is that the women coming together. I love our men, and I know our men are supposed to be our leaders, but sometimes, ladies, you got to step up too and get in your community and work. You working in your community is the number one thing you can do. And when you start working, that man is going to follow you. So work in your community, get involved.
All right, Ms. Ella, well, that's all I have for you. I appreciate it. Again, I do. I really do. And hopefully, as the community, we can help better support you as well.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. I appreciate being here today. And you keep going forward on your business, so you never know what's going to land.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take that and fly with it today. Thank you so much.
I'm the founder of the Life Foundation in St. Louis, Missouri, and we are a proud supporter of In the World of Tom.
Every Thursday with Tom Lane.